What up, YouTube? Timmy's here. Since this month is back to school month, I'm doing my reviews for school-based films. So now, here is my review for pretty much an 80s high school teen classic. And that is the 1982 comedy Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Now, this movie pretty much was like a who's of actors was in this movie. Like, obviously the lead is of course Sean Penn. Sean Penn of course was in this. You of course had Jennifer Jason Leigh, but you also had like cool small cameos by Nicolas Cage. Forrest Whitaker was actually in this. I think a lot of people always keep forgetting that this was like Forrest Whitaker's earliest film. Same with Nick Cage. I mean, Nick Cage has done some teen movies back in the 80s. And I mean, what's not to love about Fast Times at Ridgemont High? It's just one of the best teen comedies of the 80s. Like, the 80s had some really iconic teen movies. Obviously, there was Breakfast Club, there was Pretty in Pink, there was loads of other great ones, but one stood out to me, and that will always be Fast Times at Ridgemont High. And no, it's not the Phoebe Cates scene, which, yeah. Can we just say how lucky Kevin Kline is, who, if you guys don't know, Kevin Kline is actually married to Phoebe Cates in real life. Okay, that scene with Phoebe Cates, where she's of course, coming out of the pool, and yeah, I think probably one of the most iconic moments in movie history. Let's refer there. Of course, the scene with Judge Rhino. Judge Rhino, who was so good in this film. I mean, I just loved him in this. Of course, you had Jennifer Jason, like a very young Jennifer Jason Leigh, playing the role of Stacey Hamilton, who is like this pretty but inexperienced high school girl who's like interested in dating and so yeah, of course, she ends up even getting trapped in this love triangle with this nice guy named Mark Ratner, played by Brian Backer, and his more absurd buddy Mike Damon, who's of course portrayed by Robert Romanus. And of course, Stacey's classmate is the stoner Jeff Spilogli, who's of course played by young Sean Penn, who was so good in this one. I mean, of course, you had Ray Wellston, who plays like the teacher in this, Mr. Hand. This movie has so much iconic moments in it. Phoebe Cates is like, oh yeah. I think lots of like. Honestly, when you talk about Fast Times at Ridgemont High to lots of people, they'd be like, yeah, that Phoebe Cates scene, ooh yeah. But really, this is such an iconic teen movie. It's so, I mean, I guess say it's one of like the films that really benefit for teen films nowadays. I mean, of course, those teen movies we have on, that we got on Netflix and all. We probably would have had those if it wasn't for movies such as Fast Times or Breakfast Club or anything like that. Now, of course, Fast Times was directed by Amy Heckerling, who later on will go on to direct another high school-based movie, and that will be the iconic movie Clueless, which is less raunchy, but still. I mean, this movie, of course, paved the way for like raunchy teen comedies. It paved the way for American Pie. It paved the way for loads of other teen-based comedies that are very raunchy. And this is such a really great one. Nick Cage. I mean, Nick Cage was actually credited as Nicholas Coppola because if you guys don't know, he's actually Francis Ford Coppola's nephew. But lots of people always keep forgetting about that. But yeah, I mean, of course, you also had Eric Stoltz, who plays like the who plays like a stoner in this. This film is also adapted by a book that Cameron Crowe wrote a year after spending time at Claremont High School. And of course, Cameron Crowe, he wrote the screenplay for this. If you guys don't know, Cameron Crowe also directed another teen movie, which was Say Anything, which is also iconic. So yeah, I mean, this movie is so great. I mean, it's so hilarious. It's loads of really funny one-liners. It was a box office hit too. It made about 21.7 million when it got released. Did pretty well for a film like this. And like I said, Judge Reinhold is definitely so likable in this. Like him trying to pretty much get with Phoebe Cates' character is pretty fun to watch. You know, the scene, of course, where he's streaming about Phoebe Cates coming out from the pool and everything. You know, when he was in the bathroom and all. You guys know what scene I'm talking about. I'm not going to go through any details over the on YouTube. But if you guys remember Fast Times, you know what scene I'm talking about. But that aside, if you guys have not really seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High, it's definitely one of the greatest teen comedies there is. It's so iconic, hilarious, heartfelt. Definitely give this one a watch. Anyway, let me leave you guys. Have you ever seen Fast Times at Ridgemont High? If so, what's up? Were you a fan of it? Were you not a fan of it? What are some of your favorite parts? Some of your favorite moments? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This is Simon signing out.